Welcome back to The Historian. Tonight, we look at the crimson thread, the legacy of lost cultures woven into mysterious tapestries. As we weave through the fabric of history, we start with a glimpse into the dawn of weaving itself, drawn through the mist of time into the heart of early human civilizations. Imagine, if you will, a time long before our own, amidst clay and stone, where our ancestors took their first steps towards organizing the tangled fibers of nature into something structured and useful. This early craft began in humble forms, as people in ancient communities across the globe discovered that twisting plant fibers together created something stronger, more adaptable. In the cool, early mornings of ancient Egypt, the Nile's morning mist brushed over beings busy with their mundane tasks. These early settlers developed twine and simple weaving techniques. The loom, a majestic instrument that would come to symbolize advancement, began as a rudimentary wooden frame. Woven linen became essential, not just as clothing, but as shrouds for the departed, forever entwining fabric with customs and beliefs. Let us move a little further east, across the fertile crescent of Mesopotamia, where the Sumerians left behind remnants of their creativity. They employed intricate weaves of wool, tracing complex patterns that perhaps reflected the starry heavens or the grain of the earth they depended upon. Such work required a keen eye and deft hands, qualities appreciated today, although faded by time. While Europe remained dotted with small tribes and agricultural communities, the invention and refinement of weaving began taking root in these regions too. In the calm Italian peninsula, where olive trees swayed gently in the breeze, weaving became a pivotal skill. It was the Etruscans who laid the groundwork, influencing the burgeoning Roman Empire. Their appreciation for intricate weaves in clothing spilled over into Roman society, which embraced the craft as a symbol of status and civilization. Let our minds now cross the vast earth to the Indian subcontinent. By the banks of the Indus River, the people of Mohenjo-daro wove cotton that clothed their bodies and colored their lives. As the sun set behind the distant mountains, the air carried vibrant hues from dyes extracted painstakingly from flowers and minerals, soaked into each fiber that passed through those early looms. Their knowledge spread far beyond, influencing regions as far as the northernmost reaches of China. There, in ancient China, history tells of the legendary Lady Xiling, fabled to have discovered silk. This luxurious fiber, spun by industrious silkworms, went on to kindle the ancient trade networks known as the Silk Road, a web that connected distant lands not just with thread, but with ideas, culture, and the very essence of mankind's shared journey. Importantly, these cultural exchanges were not solely material. They altered civilizations, transformed everyday lives, and stitched together disparate tribes and empires into a complex tapestry of interconnected human advancement. As fires burned low in campfires across the world, stories were shared of craftsmanship and the skills of weavers, from the Andes to the sands of Africa. In the long, still evenings, patterns passed wordlessly through generations, through the rhythm of the loom. Each tug and pull embedded patterns in cloth were extensions of human thought and belief. And so, the loom became a silent witness of history, bearing the slow rise and falls of dynasties and civilizations. Look closer and you can see not just stories of brave kings or terrible wars, but glimpses into daily life, hopes, dreams, and lessons passed from hand to hand. Our journey across the early tapestry of human civilization has shown us that even from our humble beginnings, we have been a part of a single vast story, one colorful thread connected to another, leading us to new discoveries. Next, we trace this thread further along its journey, as it stretches through more tumultuous eras, binding together ingenuity with the rise of early trade and commerce. And so, we leave this woven narrative here to pick it up with our next story. As we continue our exploration of our shared history through weaving, let us travel to the ancient lands where the humble loom evolved into a powerful testament of civilization's progress. Picture the vast landscapes of what is now Peru, where the Andes rise majestically against the sky. It is here that the earliest forms of weaving sprang to life in South America, with the ancient Andean cultures such as the Paracas and the Nazca. These peoples were masters in creating elaborate textiles using fibers of alpaca and llama. The intricate designs and motifs not only told tales but also held deep meanings, serving as both functional clothing and sacred ceremonial items. The Paracas, renowned for their textile work, created complex and vibrant textiles often used for funerary purposes. They buried their dead in splendid garments that showcased their incredible weaving skills. The textiles, rediscovered centuries later, revealed a world rich with colors and patterns that boldly stood the test of time. Far beyond their primary function, these textiles offered insights into the social and spiritual life of civilizations long gone. Moving eastward, we find ourselves amidst the diverse cultures of Africa, where weaving also took unique forms. On the plains and forests of West Africa, the Mali Empire thrived. The people here mastered the art of strip weaving long before European influence. West African looms, which were narrow and made for weaving long strips of fabric that would then be sewn together, were a remarkable expression of cultural creativity. These woven strips became a form of identity, encoding histories, philosophies, and proverbs into their patterns, carrying meanings that were often passed down through generations. We pause for a moment to understand the role of these textiles as more than mere cloth. In African societies, woven fabrics were integral to the expression of community status and identity. They were markers of significant life events, births, marriages, and deaths, and were central to the rituals that defined cultural fabric. This understanding of textiles as living cultural records provides a deeper appreciation of their role throughout history. Now, let us turn to the ancient Greeks, whose detailed depiction of myths and daily life also found expression in textiles. Homer himself wrote of the tapestries of Helen, described with poetic admiration in the Iliad. Greek weavers produced garments that were richly decorated, with myths often depicted in their patterns. Interestingly, it was a skill set primarily practiced by aristocratic women, who dedicated themselves to producing beautifully intricate weaves that signified wealth, status, and learning. In this serene image of noble Athenian women working the loom under the Mediterranean sun, watching threads cycle through their fingers, we see the threads of culture and economy intertwined. The Greeks traded their textiles, further spreading their craft and influence across distant lands around the Mediterranean basin. We continue forward to find ourselves amidst the vibrant civilizations of the Americas, where the ancestral Pueblones, often known for their iconic cliff dwellings, also indulged in weaving. High in the caves of the American Southwest, they created textiles using fibers from native species like yucca plants. Their dexterous hands transformed these fibers into garments and goods essential for everyday survival, even as each piece whispered of a lifestyle closely attuned to the surrounding world. Throughout these various cultures, weaving was not just a practical art but a testament to the ingenuity and spirit of humanity. Each piece created was a reflection of a people's interaction with their environment, their social structures, and a legacy that transcends time. These ancient weaving traditions are a beautiful reminder that while threads are fragile, they are also capable of holding an enduring historical legacy today. As we draw our attention now to the birth of wider trade routes and an evolving global society, we see how these ancient techniques laid the groundwork for further innovations and the cultural exchanges that would come to shape the planet. Each weave carried knowledge from one culture to another, ensuring that though specific techniques may fade, the art of weaving remains, timeless and unyielding until our next chapter. In the stillness of early history, humanity's story was beginning to take shape like patterns drawn in the dust. Millennia ago, across regions now known only from archaeological whispers, people began to venture beyond their own tribes and villages, weaving connections with distant neighbors. These early interactions sparked cultural exchanges that stitched together a fabric of human connectivity, from Africa to Asia and beyond. The pathways of these ancient interconnections are marked by artifacts that have stood the test of time. Consider the influence of obsidian. This volcanic glass, valued for its sharp edge, found its way across great distances, symbolizing early trade routes that were as much about the exchange of ideas as of goods. Used in tools, weapons, and intricate art pieces, obsidian's presence in various archaeological sites illuminates the invisible threads of communication that linked ancient people. Moving across Eurasia, we find more such examples in the form of lapis lazuli, the deep blue stone mined in Afghanistan's Badakhshan. Even in Antiquity, it traveled vast distances, appearing in the treasures of Egyptian pharaohs and the treasures of in Mesopotamia. Such long-distance trade reveals more than economic need. It points to a shared human appreciation for beauty and craftsmanship, laying the groundwork for cultural ties that would slowly knit individual communities into a loosely connected web of humanity. In these shared spaces, languages broadened and knowledge pools deepened, shaping societies in ways that language barriers could not obstruct. These exchanges were not just tangible. Philosophies, religions, and customs followed these trade paths, leaving indelible marks on widely spread communities. The ancient Silk Road is particularly significant. It wasn't merely a trade network, but a corridor of cultural exchange that spanned continents from the Mediterranean to the Far East. Caravanserais dotted the path of these routes, where traders shared stories and traditions with travelers from far-off lands. If you are finding peace in these archives, remember to subscribe to join us on the next journey. As we spend moments considering the spread of Buddhism from India to China and Southeast Asia, we see again how culture is carried like a gentle breeze across land and time. Buddhist monks traveled the Silk Road, their presence fostering exchanges beyond just commodities, sharing texts, rituals, and a new worldview that significantly influenced cultural development along these routes. Another significant route that carved patterns of interconnection was the trans-Saharan trade routes connecting sub-Saharan Africa with the Mediterranean. These were paths of gold, salt, and ideas. The city of Timbuktu, a notable hub along these routes, became a center for education and scholarship, establishing one of the world's first universities. Ideas thrived in abundance, and the richness of cultural interplay further illuminated our shared human story. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean was becoming tangled in its own web of trade and cultural exchange with the arrival of European explorers. Indigenous peoples, such as the Taino, participated in complex trade networks that predated European contact, and these interactions introduced new crops and ideas that significantly reshaped life in the Americas. The interconnectedness of ancient cultures is a testament to humanity's intrinsic drive to explore and understand beyond apparent horizons. These early linkages, whether through trade, migration, or simple curiosity, began the process of binding humanity into a single tapestry, a process still wonderfully evident today. As we look back to these ancient times, the patterns drawn in the dust have transcended eras, leading us to insights about our shared past. Moving forward, we'll trace the expansion and impact of these connections as they weave through the Middle Ages and into modernity, shaping the civilizations we know today. In a world where the gentle clatter of the loom marked the rhythm of daily life, craftsmen of the past honed their skills with tools that tell us stories of innovation and creativity. As we thread back to the essence of ancient craftsmanship, we see that every culture left its distinct fingerprints on the weaving techniques they mastered. In ancient Egypt, a simple wooden loom, humble yet revolutionary, was the heart of textile production. The Egyptians used horizontal ground looms and later vertical looms that allowed them to refine their techniques, crafting linen that bore the hallmark of their advanced civilization. Skilled weavers worked meticulously, guiding each thread with precision and purpose, as they transformed raw materials of the flax plant into finely woven fabrics. Traveling to the Indian subcontinent, we find the art of weaving cotton at the heart of the ancient Indus Valley civilization. Here, craftsmen wielded spindles and primitive spinning wheels to create yarns before using looms to weave fabrics. The spindles, often made from wood or bone, were essential tools that enabled artisans to create thread from raw cotton fibers. The result was a cotton cloth so finely made, descriptions of its quality reached the far-off lands of Mesopotamia and Egypt via thriving trade routes. Meanwhile, in the Americas, high in the Andes, the Inca civilization displayed a deep mastery of both fiber and dye. Alpaca and llama fibers were spun using drop spindles, simple tools that represented an intersection of necessity and artistry. Intricately patterned mantles, cloths, and garments signified social status and ceremonial importance. These textiles, laden with symbols and colors, exhibited precision achieved through years of perfected technique. A stride to East Asia brings us to ancient China, where the legendary artisans crafted silks using the reeling and spinning of silk fibers from silkworm cocoons. The Chinese loom, an intricate device that evolved over centuries, allowed weavers to produce incredibly detailed textiles. Brocades and tapestries of unmatched complexity contained patterns that told stories of empires and dynasties, each piece as much a historical document as a work of art. In medieval Europe, the great tapestry of the Bayeux was created with the use of needle and thread. It captured the Norman conquest of England and served as a narrative embroidery, an example where the art of stitching became a tool for storytelling. Frame looms were the workhorse of the time, sturdy wooden structures that enabled the creation of garments and household items essential for daily life. The looms and tools of these craftsmen were never merely functional. They carried with them the ingenuity of generations reflected in the perfection of skill passed from master to apprentice. Each loom and tool bore the evidence of hands that learned, adapted, and innovated, hands that understood the finest lines between utility and art. As we continue this journey through history, the tools and techniques reveal not only the crafted items, but also a deeper understanding of the societies from which they sprang. They speak to evolving cultures, the cross-pollination of ideas, and how basic needs gave rise to wondrous artistry. The evolution of crafting tools is a reminder of human adaptability and the creative solutions we develop in response to our environment. These technologies from our past paved the way for more sophisticated techniques that would follow, bridging eras through threads of continuity and skillful innovation. With each new tool, the ancient craftsmen gifted us stories woven into the very fabric of our shared past, waiting to be unraveled as we look to the future. As our narrative stretches into the next expanse, it will carry us through the intangible connections of human history, further unraveling the impact of these advancements on broader economies and emerging global networks. In the serene and quiet corners of medieval Europe, the golden age of tapestry making unfolds, a time when weaving artistry rose to incredible heights. Imagine the medieval looms, standing tall against stone walls. Under the flickering light of candles, skilled hands move methodically through their tasks, weaving rich threads into intricate designs that narrated the stories of their time. During the 14th to 16th centuries, European weavers reached their pinnacle of artistry. This era saw the buildings of grand Gothic cathedrals, and within their shadow, workshops flourished. Regions in Flanders and France, particularly the towns of Arras, Tournai, and Paris, emerged as epicenters of this flourishing craft. These places, with their cobblestone streets echoing with the sound of weaving, became synonymous with high-quality tapestries appreciated by both nobility and clergy. The tapestries created in this golden age were not merely decorative. They served multiple purposes, warming cold stone walls in castles, illustrating biblical stories to an illiterate populace, and reflecting power and wealth. Panels often depicted lush landscapes, biblical narrations, epic battles, and scenes from everyday life, each woven piece a window into medieval society's psyche and values. Typically made from wool, enhanced with silk, gold, or silver threads, the making of a tapestry was a Herculean task. Designing a tapestry started with an artist, often a renowned painter, whose designs were translated into detailed cartoons, the blueprints for weavers to follow. These cartoons, stretched out by the loom, guiding hands that deftly moved warp and weft, were the heart of every tapestry. The Chateau of Angers houses the magnificent Apocalypse tapestries. Commissioned by Louis I, Duke of Anjou, in the late 14th century, this series contains 7 tapestries that illustrate the Book of Revelation. The symbolism woven into its panels, from demons to angels, reflects the Gothic love for the detailed visual storytelling of their sacred texts. In the city of Bayeux, the iconic Bayeux tapestry recounts the Norman conquest of England. Though technically an embroidery, its tapestry-like use of the narrative was influential. At 70 meters long, it serves as a historical document more than a decorative piece, with scenes showing the battle and medieval life in vivid color. This narrative style became a foundational element in future European tapestry traditions. Among the most famous tapestry series is The Lady and the Unicorn, created in the late 15th century. Housed in the Musée de Cluny in Paris, it's renowned for its rich symbolism and mystique, depicting allegories of the 5 senses and a mysterious 6th sense. With its dreamlike imagery of animals and maidens, the series epitomizes the art's ability to convey complex philosophical ideas through detailed imagery. Tapestry weaving was a cooperative effort involving entire guilds of artisans, designers, dyers, and weavers all contributing their expertise. It could take several years to complete just one piece, hence only the affluent could afford such works. The tapestries often traveled extensively, cherished as diplomatic gifts and symbols of cultural exchange. As the Renaissance approached, we see an evolution in technique and style, partly influenced by advancements in weaving technology and in painting. Artists like Raphael lent their talent to tapestry design, resulting in spectacular works like the Raphael cartoons woven at the workshop of Pieter van Aelst in Brussels. These tapestries, commissioned by Pope Leo X, show biblical scenes meant to adorn the Vatican. From castles to cathedrals, tapestries stood as silent witnesses to historical transformations. They capture the vibrant colors and detailed imagery of a period when art was both an aesthetic pleasure and a profound conveyor of status and power. Thus, through complex interweaving, tapestries of the Golden Age do not merely display craftsmanship, but also exhibit how culture, leadership, and the arts flourished under the loom's wooden frame. As we transition to the Renaissance, this age lays the groundwork for an era where textile arts continue to innovate and influence, tying together the threads of the past with the vision of the future. Across the world, tapestries became more than mere decor. They served as vibrant tapestries of cultural exchange, helping spread ideas, art styles, and techniques between distant lands. Our journey begins in the East, where the Silk Road facilitated the spread of textiles, including tapestries from China to Europe. Here, East met West not just in goods, but in the stories and symbolism woven into each piece. In the medieval period, the towns of northern France and Flanders emerged as major tapestry production centers. These tapestries were known for their complex designs and high-quality craftsmanship, but their journey didn't end in Europe. Perhaps one of the most remarkable aspects of these European tapestries was how, through trade and gift-giving, they ventured beyond their home regions. As we explore the Iberian Peninsula, we can see how the Islamic influence interwove with Christian motifs, creating a unique tapestry style that merged both cultures. This was a period when the Moors occupied parts of Spain, bringing intricate geometric patterns and vibrant color palettes typical of Islamic art into the tapestry arts. Such exchanges exemplify how art became a language that could transcend religious and cultural differences. In Italy, known for its rich art history, the Renaissance brought a flourish in tapestry art as well. It was here that tapestries began to feature more realistic depictions of human figures and natural landscapes, influenced by the advances in painting and perspective. Esteemed artists like Raphael designed tapestries, which were then woven elsewhere, often in the famed workshops of Brussels. These pieces became centerpieces at the Vatican, highlighting not just religious scenes, but also the artistic innovation of the era. Travel now to the British Isles, where tapestries served both as insulation and storytelling media in vast, drafty castles. Here, king and noble alike displayed tapestries depicting scenes of chivalric romance, legend, and heraldic imagery. These helped solidify a shared cultural identity rooted in history and legend, yet adaptable enough to integrate elements learned from abroad. Moving further, we see tapestries making their way to the Ottoman Empire. Here, the vibrant and complex imagery typical of Persian carpets influenced tapestry designs greatly. The Ottomans, renowned for their love of luxury textiles, integrated European and Asian looms artistry to reflect an empire at the crossroads of culture. Beyond Europe and into the expansive continent of Africa, we witness the intersecting narratives of cultural exchange manifest vividly in local tapestry styles. The colors and techniques in areas influenced by Arab traders bear striking resemblance to those found in tapestries from the Silk Road, showing just how wide-reaching and interconnected trade routes and exchanges were. Continuing west across the vast oceans, in colonial America, settlers replicated European styles, but began incorporating motifs from both the indigenous cultures and the new land's vibrant wildlife and landscapes. The result was a hybrid style signifying the merging of distinct worlds. These tapestries and their unique styles helped form a new American identity, signaling an evolution as cultures and ideas coalesced. Each of these examples tells the tale not just of art, but of how cultures can weave together their stories through shared craftsmanship. The threads in each tapestry are like relationships between cultures, delicately interlaced and showcasing human creativity and adaptation. They reflect histories, symbolize the coming together of different peoples, and illustrate how, even within the confines of diverse traditions, universal beauty can unify. As we look ahead, the legacy of these woven worlds continues to unfold. Our story broadens, stretching into future chapters that will explore further innovations and how modern societies began to embrace and reinterpret these ancient arts in new and unexpected ways, setting the stage for future chapters in textile history. In the tranquil, cobblestone alleys of Flanders and France, the gentle hum of bustling looms signaled the height of medieval tapestry craftsmanship. As sunlight streams through lattice windows, weaver guilds, vibrant communities of artisans, spend their days immersed in artistry, their focus unwavering, their fingers deftly weaving tales into the threads of their creations. Life in these weaving centers thrived around the loom, a central feature in homes and workshops alike. Massive vertical looms stretched the loom frame's wooden beams, a testament to the dedication and skill demanded by each tapestry project. Artisans followed meticulous cartoon designs created by renowned painters, rich with intricate details. These illustrations, pinned above each loom, guided the artisans as they deftly intertwined bright threads of dyed wool and fine silk into captivating panels. In these workspaces, the air mixed with the sense of dye vats, where natural substances such as woad or madder transformed plain threads into vibrant hues. Dyers, crucial contributors to the tapestry process, created palettes of color from roots, insects, and minerals sourced from local apothecaries or distant lands. The result was a stunning array of pigments that added breath and soul to each tapestry. Each completed work from these locales was more than a collection of yarn. It was a tangible piece of cultural history, displaying everyday life, religious allegories, and the grandeur of medieval mythology. Tapestries adorned the cold stone walls of Europe's castles and churches, but they also traveled beyond these regions, gracing noble homes across Europe and beyond. The master weavers lived lives of discipline and quiet creativity. Many artisans started their craft in apprenticeship as young as 10. Under the patient guidance of seasoned masters, they learn not only the tactile skills, but also the narratives these artworks conveyed through centuries, stories deeply embedded in the cultural consciousness. Throughout the towns, guilds of skilled weavers formed pivotal centers for knowledge exchange and training, preserving the quality and prestige of their work. In towns like Arras and Tournai, the guilds balanced the delicate dance of tradition and innovation, ensuring that each tapestry bore the hallmark of expertise expected by patrons. Beyond the walls of these workshops, the landscapes of surrounding regions provided both inspiration and materials. From the banks of the Lys River, wool, the core material for most tapestries, was sourced within these verdant local pastures and further refined within the bustling towns. The community interacted closely with every stage of tapestry production, infusing each creation with local character and authentic artistry. Social life of the weavers thrived around their craft. The guild halls often resonated with conversations that connected artisans not only to their work, but to each other. Discussions of weaving techniques, shared methods for managing tensions in the loom's frame, or debates about the best mixture for particularly elusive shades, these were the rhythms of daily life. They shared meals, stories, celebrations, and a common pride in their artistic legacy. Yet as the Renaissance dawned, the winds of change brought shifts in both style and technique. Innovations in perspective and theme crept in from the world of painting, with artists like Raphael envisioning designs that expanded the visual repertory of tapestries to include not just flat representations, but dynamic, textured compositions. Flanders remained at the forefront of these advancements, with local artisans refining and incorporating these novel ideas into their traditional techniques, ensuring the legacy of European weaving endured robustly into the new era. Craftsmanship in tapestry in this period was a delicate balance of careful planning and free-flowing creativity, a magnificent mosaic of human expression that transcended mere function. These woven masterpieces told the stories not just of European life, but of global interactions, hinting at the interconnected web of human culture. As we lean back from these vibrant workshops, we peer forward into an era poised on exploration and even greater artistic endeavor. Thus, as tapestries hung snugly on castle walls, gentle echoes of the weavers, lives and times would seamlessly bridge generations, serving as both canvas and chronicle of history's rich, unfolding designs. At the turn of the Renaissance, the significance of tapestry in societal power structures gained a remarkable foothold. In a world where display was tied to authority, these intricate woven artworks became symbols of both cultural eminence and political might. Nobles and influential patrons commissioned elaborate tapestries, not just for decoration, but as potent displays of wealth and status, a testament to their dominance in the social hierarchy. Imagine stepping into a grand hall of a European castle during the Renaissance. As the heavy wooden doors part, you are greeted by vibrant tapestries lining the walls, their fibers catching the dim sunlight streaming through tall windows. Each tapestry is a meticulously woven narrative, recounting tales of conquest, religious history, or allegorical themes that spoke to the values and ideals of those who commissioned them. In this setting, tapestries served a dual purpose. They insulated and adorned expansive stone chambers while simultaneously asserting the owner's affluence and sophistication. The impact of these textile masterpieces resonated not just within the confines of the aristocracy, but across broader society. The Flemish workshops, such as those in Brussels and Oudenaarde, gained fame for their unparalleled expertise in producing large-format tapestries. These workshops became bustling centers of artistry and craft, where skilled weavers executed grand designs detailed by artists renowned in their time. The designs themselves were often derived from cartoons created by visionary artists like Raphael, who was sought by the Vatican to produce works that would later be transformed into tapestries hung to awe those within the walls of the Sistine Chapel. The synergy between artistic innovation and the technical prowess of weavers yielded creations that embodied the spirit of the Renaissance, a fusion of art, culture, and opulent display. Beyond their aesthetic function, tapestries had a more intimate relationship with power dynamics. They were the ideal diplomatic gift, a gesture of goodwill or alliances meant to foster relationships between nations or powerful families. The exchange of tapestries thus became a form of cultural diplomacy, carrying narratives and artistic styles across borders, enriching each receiving culture with new ideas and motifs. Consider the magnificent Hunts of Maximilian series, which depicted richly detailed hunting scenes. Commissioned by the Roman Emperor Maximilian I, these tapestries were crafted to celebrate the emperor's love for the hunt and to reinforce his noble status. They effectively communicated his dominion over nature and prowess as a ruler, all through the medium of woven wool and silk. The remarkable unicorn tapestries housed in the cloisters of New York are another example, illustrating how the mystique and allegory captured in tapestries resonated with themes of purity and chivalric virtue, echoing the societal ideals of the time. Each thread spun was a testament to patience and artistry, stitched meticulously to convey enchanting stories that drew viewers into scenes of regal magnificence. As the Renaissance flourished, so too did the complexity of these artworks. Perspective and realism, introduced through the visionary designs of period artists, found their way into tapestry art, transforming static depictions into dynamic, lifelike representations. This evolution paralleled changes in society, as the high demand for tapestries spurred economic growth and fostered elaborate networks of trade that linked regions and cultures ever more closely. Tapestries, in this era, became historical documents of a sort, woven records reflecting the shifting tides of political and cultural influence throughout Europe. The artifacts left behind offer us vivid glimpses into that world, where stories of myth, religious fervor, and political ambition played out thread by thread, creating legacies that continue to intrigue and inspire to this day. As we pivot our lens forward, beyond the Renaissance into an age of discovery and particular technological advances, the significance of tapestries will further evolve, adapting to an ever-expanding world. Their enduring narrative speaks to the profound impact art has had, and continues to have, on our shared human journey. In the glorious pages of history where tapestries served as emblematic records, the times of war and peace often found expression in these woven masterpieces, reflecting both conflict and harmony between empires. In the very threads of these artworks lie stories of alliances formed, lands reclaimed, and peace brokered. Imagine a time when empires were on the brink of war or celebrating newfound peace. Tapestries captured these moments vividly, transcending their utility as mere decoration. They became historical documents, narrating the rise and fall of empires through their intricate weaves. During the 100 Years' War between France and England, tapestries were commissioned extensively. The wealth of nobility was often displayed during these tumultuous times. Each tapestry depicted not only the grandeur of royalty, but also chronicled battles and victories, serving as a reminder of what was won and lost. In splendid halls, these tapestries told tales more eloquently than any words exchanged across battlefields. Beyond depictions of war, many tapestries also illustrated scenes of peace and unity. Take, for example, the Acts of the Apostles, a series of tapestries designed by Raphael and executed by the famed workshop of Pieter van Aelst. Commissioned by the Vatican, these tapestries represented a spiritual unity meant to inspire peace within the Catholic Church empire, portraying scenes from the lives of the apostles. Exquisite detail brought these religious narratives to life, embedding themes of faith and harmony across the papacy. Similarly, in the Ottoman Empire, tapestries served as instruments of diplomacy, often exchanged as prestigious gifts between sultans and European leaders. These gifts were lavish displays of wealth, and a sign of intent for peaceful coexistence. In these exchanges, luxury items, including tapestries with Persian-influenced aesthetics, reinforced political alliances and cultural respect. During the Italian wars of the late 15th and early 16th centuries, the Renaissance brought forward tapestries that embodied the spirit of both warfare and tranquility. Magnificent pieces commissioned by powerful families like the Medicis adorned Palazzo's walls, telling stories of their ancestral glory and political achievements. These textiles were both triumphant and an expression of refined cultural sophistication amidst changing political climates. Further east, the Mughals of India embraced the art of tapestry in battle commemoration and the celebration of peace. The Mughal court, renowned for its appreciation of art and culture, often combined their tapestries with Persian influences, creating vivid scenes that adorned palatial halls. They depicted the grandeur of the empire, the splendor of imperial cities, and the ethos of coexistence within a diverse empire. Across the Atlantic, in colonial America, tapestries began to reflect independent ideas as peaceful coexistence with indigenous tribes was often fraught with tension. In these tapestries, early American settlers captured not only everyday life, but the growing friction and eventual peace treaties with Native American tribes, chronicling stories of the burgeoning New World. Thus, in times of tumult and calm, tapestries became more than just protective draperies. They were canvases that captured the essence of empires caught between war and peace. The stories woven into their delicate fibers remain vivid echoes of those who once sought power, pursued harmony, and dreamed of prosperous coexistence. These multifaceted creations reveal a past intricately bound with artistry, diplomacy, and storytelling. As we draw breath in this gallery of history teeming with the whispers of time, we find the artistry of tapestries intertwined with the broader narrative of empires, aspired tranquility and unavoidable confrontations. Each stitch carries the weight of history, hinting at the power of textile not just as an artistic endeavor, but as a keeper of collective human memory. Delve further, and the next weave unveils new layers of our shared legacy, exploring how evolving global trade and imperial ambitions continue to influence the textile traditions beyond the borders of these mighty empires. In a world just beginning to rediscover its own history, the Renaissance era opened treasures hidden in time. With the spirit of exploration igniting the hearts of many, old, lost cultures and their artifacts started emerging from the dust of oblivion. From these ruins arose artifacts that shed new light on past civilizations, offering insight into lost methods and the artistry that once flourished across the world. One such rediscovery was the uncovering of ancient Roman mosaics across the lands that were once part of the vast empire. These mosaics, hidden beneath layers of earth, began to resurface during urban development and agricultural work. Each piece depicted scenes that revealed insights into Roman life, culture, and artistry that had faded with time. They told stories of daily existence, triumph, and the rich tapestry of myth and belief woven through Roman society. Meanwhile, in the eastern reaches of the world, explorers embarked on journeys that led to the unearthing of the Great Terracotta Army in Xi'an, China. This massive collection of life-sized sculptures showed the artistic ambition of the Chinese under the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. Discovered in the spring of 1974 by local farmers digging a well, the army included thousands of warriors, horses, and chariots, each detailed to perfection. This incredible find revealed an unparalleled level of craftsmanship and gave insight into the militaristic nature of the Qin dynasty that unified China. In the heart of the Americas, rediscovery flourished as explorers and archaeologists delved into the mysteries of the Mayan and Incan civilizations. South America, with its grand Andean sites like Machu Picchu, unveiled stunning architectural ingenuity. Hidden deep within the mountains until reintroduced to the world in 1911 by Hiram Bingham, Machu Picchu stood as a testament to Incan engineering and social organization. Such finds brought to light not only the structures, but also elements of the daily lives and beliefs of these vibrant cultures left behind. Similarly, the Capan ruins discovered in present-day Honduras cast light on early Mayan civilization. These ruins, with their hieroglyphic stairways and ceremonial plazas, provided researchers with valuable information about Mayan hieroglyphs, rituals, and political systems. As archaeologists deciphered these glyphs, the complexity and sophistication of Mayan knowledge became evident. Europe, too, experienced its share of unearthings during this age. As the Renaissance fueled a renewed interest in antiquity, the artworks and cultural landscapes of medieval times were recovered. Castles in regions like Italy began displaying tapestries that were previously thought lost or beyond repair. These colorful narratives not only fascinated, but educated those who gazed upon them with tales from both human history and mythology. Art transcended previous eras through exploration and exchange. The indigo and saffron pigments so prevalent in artworks of that period originated far from where they were admired. The dyes traveled along trade routes, their hues a testimony to the interwoven global culture that quietly persisted beneath the grand voyages of discovery. Thus, rediscoveries during the Renaissance period brought to life lost skills and perspectives from cultures that had long crumbled. These findings invited a new renaissance, a rebirth imbued with the insightful understanding of those who walked the earth long before. They proved that every stone lifted, every artifact unearthed held secrets waiting patiently to tell their stories to the modern world, adding vivid colors to the threads connecting the distant past to the present. As we transition from this exhaustive search through the annals of history, we next turn our gaze to an era where trade and cultural exchange inspired technological advances and global interconnectedness. With each artifact uncovered, humanity learns a bit more about itself, drawing curiosity and wisdom from the silence of the ages. In the vast panorama of history, as cultures intertwined and societies evolved, intrepid explorers embarked on journeys that unveiled connections across the globe. These voyagers sought more than just riches. They discovered threads of shared humanity woven into the vestiges of ancient civilizations. Their expeditions were not just treks across physical territories, but explorations into the bonds that unify diverse cultures. Consider the determined steps of the Iberian explorers like Vasco da Gama, who navigated beyond the Cape of Good Hope. His journey opened a sea route to India, crucial for the spice trade, but it also facilitated cultural exchanges. The flow of textiles, ideas, and techniques across oceans enriched societies, as people from Africa, Asia, and Europe brought their weaving traditions together, each knot and loop representing a dialogue between worlds. In the Americas, European explorers encountered vibrant indigenous cultures. Among them, the Incas' mastery over textile art was a revelation. Spanish conquistadors marveled at their use of vibrant colors and complex patterns, conveying not only artistic skill but deep cultural significance. Similarly, contact with the Aztecs revealed exquisite featherwork tapestries, showing that artistic expression was widespread and self-sufficient long before European contact. The age of exploration also led to the discovery of lost civilizations in the Mediterranean. The ruins of Knossos on Crete, excavated later in the early 20th century by Sir Arthur Evans, unearthed the labyrinthine palace of the Minoans. This civilization predated classical Greece, and through its frescoes and artifacts, showcased a complex society deeply interconnected through trade with Egypt and the East. Minoan textiles, although not fully preserved, likely featured motifs influenced by these interactions. As expeditions traced trade routes, they encountered Central Asia's vast steppes. The Ionian Greeks once found themselves in Scythia, where they exchanged goods and garnered influences that found their way into Greek art and textiles. The Scythians, nomadic and skilled in metalwork and weaving, decorated textiles with mythological motifs that spoke to shared stories between Europe and Asia. Crossing the Indian Ocean, explorers witnessed the Mughal Empire's wealth in textile craftsmanship. The Mughals' mastery in dyeing and weaving produced luxurious fabrics that were highly coveted in European markets. Layered silk textiles, some intricately embroidered with gold thread, showcased not only artistic sophistication, but the cultural interplay of Persian, Central Asian, and Indian aesthetics. Meanwhile, in the northern reaches of Eurasia, Viking excursions expanded the web of cultural exchanges. Their extensive trade networks, which spread through rivers across Eastern Europe to Byzantium, introduced them to the complex silk tapestries of the East, demonstrating an early form of what we would now call globalization. From every corner of the earth, expeditions returned home with not only goods but stories embedded in the fabrics they carried, tales told in dyes and threads that transcended linguistic barriers. These textiles encapsulated centuries of human experience, chronicling conquests, cooperation, and cultural fusion. All these discoveries served as pieces of a larger narrative tapestry, contributing to a global picture of human innovation and cooperation. As we shift forward, these tales set the stage for further exploration of how technical advancements in the field of textiles merged with newfound global awareness. The threads tangled together, crossing vast terrains and seas, shaping a future intertwined by the past, a foundation for the onward march of civilization, continuously drawn onward by the thirst to connect, understand, and innovate. In the heart of Europe's intricate history, amidst the echoes of clashing swords and the clamor of conflict, we find a curious intersection of war and weaving. The world of textiles has often silently mirrored the impacts of warfare, as battles shaped more than just borders. They altered cultural expressions, economies, and the very fabric of societies. Let's step back to the clash of empires, where tapestries played key roles on and off the battlefield. These woven works served to record victories, a way of immortalizing triumphs and valor. Yet, beyond mere documentation, the impacts of war significantly influenced both the materials and designs in weaving traditions across Europe and beyond. During the 100 Years' War between England and France, resources that would generally foster peaceful pursuits were redirected toward the war effort. The textile industry was no exception. Wool, a staple for weavers, sometimes found itself in short supply due to disrupted trade routes. Entire economies were affected as craftsmen adapted to available resources, shifting from luxury silks to more accessible, yet durable wools. Meanwhile, in the heart of Italy, the ingenuity of craftsmen kept the art alive even amidst conflict. The Italian wars of the late 15th and early 16th centuries posed similar challenges. Workshops shifted from traditional luxury items to weaving durable fabrics, focusing more on the needs of war than opulence. Designs likewise transitioned to include symbols of military might and allegiances, reflecting the shifting political landscapes. Moving east, we find the Ottoman Empire, where silk weavers felt war's vast reach. Wars often threatened the flow of silk, an issue of profound economic impact for an empire renowned for its luxurious textiles. Ottoman artisans turned war challenges into opportunities by adapting designs that emphasized local patterns over international influences, subtly reaffirming cultural identity through their unique artistry. In Persia, woven carpets and textiles became cultural records of conquests and peace treaties. These textiles were not merely floor coverings, but encapsulated the life and times of societies obsessed with the aesthetics of their woven designs. War brought Persian weavers into contact with different cultures, adapting new motifs and techniques from their varied adversaries and allies, resulting in a rich fusion celebrated even today. Let us not overlook how, beyond Europe and the Middle East, conflicts influenced the weaving traditions of indigenous cultures in the Americas. As European settlers arrived, their battles with native tribes led to demand shifts and resource reallocations that changed weaving practices. Indigenous weavers, facing dwindling resources, often had to adapt to European materials and patterns, integrating new techniques into their craft. The exchanges between cultures during periods of conflict also encouraged technological advancements. The necessity of efficient production during wartime led to innovations in looms and weaving techniques, enhancing productivity and resilience. These innovations would go on to shape industries long after the trumpets of war were silenced. Ironically, even in times of destruction, war often acted as an unwitting diffuser of culture. Soldiers, marching across lands, carried with them stories and styles which mingled with the local threads. This cross-pollination of ideas enriched tapestry and textile artistry, leading to a blend of aesthetics previously not envisioned. Thus, war, in all its harshness, served not merely as a catalyst for change, but as a bridge connecting disparate cultures through innovation and adaptation. As we relax into this contemplation of woven history, we perceive how, even from the ashes of conflict, new patterns and designs emerged, giving rise to rich cultural fabrics that continue to inform and inspire. As we lay down this chapter of history, resting next to the stories of those eras before us, we find this intricate tapestry of human history is ever evolving. The narrative threads of war and weaving are tightly interwoven, and as these stories unravel, they prepare us for the next exploration into the ways these textiles will continue to mark our future with their vibrant, historical fibers. In the gentle harbor of a declining art, the once vibrant craft of tapestry weaving began to recede as the world inched further into the industrial era, a period marked by rapid change and mechanical might. In the quiet workshops that lined the cobblestone streets of France and Flanders, the echoes of looms that once filled the air with rhythmic clatter grew faint. These spaces that had once thrived with the chatter of artisans now stood as testament to a skill waning in the shadow of technological revolution. The decline of traditional tapestry craft in the 18th and 19th centuries can largely be attributed to the sweeping changes heralded by industrialization. As spinning jennies and power looms came to dominate textile production, hand-woven tapestries struggled to compete with the speed and efficiency of mechanized weaving processes. Factories could produce fabrics en masse, offering a cost-effective alternative to the painstaking craftsmanship of traditional tapestry. Moreover, these changes weren't just about production methods, but also taste and demand. As societies industrialized, a shift occurred, moving aesthetic preferences towards cleaner, simpler fabric patterns that suited modern sensibilities. Whereas grand, narrative tapestries had once adorned the walls of castles and grand homes, the new elite favored wallpapers and furnishings that reflected the pragmatic tone of the era. Weaving centers that flourished during the Renaissance entered a period of adaptation, striving to find new niches for their art. Some, like the workshops in Beauvais and Gobelins in France, secured state patronage to survive by creating tapestries that depicted contemporary scenes and themes reflective of national pride and tradition. However, even with these efforts, tapestry lost its place as a dominant artistic force. The French Revolution and subsequent Napoleonic Wars further exacerbated the decline, as political and economic upheavals redirected resources toward military pursuits rather than luxury arts. Many tapestries were destroyed or repurposed, their stories and artistry lost to the churn of history. In this period of flux, tapestry artists had to adapt, often downsizing and turning their skills to producing smaller works more suited for the decorative needs of middle-class homes, or incorporating tapestry techniques into furniture and fashion. Yet, within this decline, there was still an appreciation for the artistry and heritage tapestries represented. Efforts to revive the craft arose sporadically throughout the 19th century. The arts and crafts movement in England, led by figures like William Morris, sought to recapture the beauty and intricacy of handcrafted textiles. Morris's passion for medieval artistry reinvigorated an interest in tapestries as art objects, emphasizing handcrafted quality and historic methods. Despite these periodic attempts at revival, traditional tapestry remained largely eclipsed by mechanized production. However, the essence of tapestry continued, albeit transformed, as the ethos of weaving migrated into new realms, from needlepoint cushions to woven household goods, ensuring that, although diminished, the skill was far from extinguished. As we quietly close the chapter on the decline of traditional tapestry, we are reminded of the resilience of artistic expression. The threads of this craft, despite their fading presence, continue to weave through time, offering glimpses of what was once a celebrated form of storytelling and beauty. In the next arc of our exploration, we will see the ebb and flow of familiar arts as they adapt to the evolving world, exploring how creativity endures through innovation and rediscovery. In the quiet moments before dawn, modern archaeologists set out with their tools and dreams, searching for traces of lost civilizations hidden beneath layers of earth and time. These dedicated seekers of knowledge use both ancient methods and cutting-edge technology to bring forth the stories embedded in the soil. Imagine the cool, pre-dawn air cloaked over a sprawling excavation site, where tents and tarps protect the precious work in progress. As the first light sneaks over the horizon, it casts gentle shadows on the tools of discovery, brushes, trowels, and carefully assembled grids marked on the ground. Each item plays a part in untangling history's mysteries. Modern archaeology does not merely seek artifacts, it seeks the stories that lay written in the dust and shards left behind. One prominent method in these quests is remote sensing, which uses aerial and satellite imagery to identify potential sites of interest. From above, subtle changes in vegetation patterns or soil composition can hint at hidden structures, tombs, or cities. The technology allows archaeologists to uncover the world's secrets without ever breaking ground, preserving sites until they can be properly studied. Excavations, when they occur, involve meticulous care. Each layer of earth removed is scrutinized for remnants of what was once a bustling world. Ceramics, bones, and remnants of ancient metallurgy speak of societies long forgotten, each piece adding to our understanding of past human life. Recently, in Turkey's Göbekli Tepe, archaeologists uncovered massive stone pillars crafted over 11,000 years ago, predating Stonehenge by several millennia. The carvings suggest complex social structures and advanced craftsmanship in prehistoric times, changing our perception of how civilizations began. Underground radar technology further uncovers these hidden secrets without disturbing the earth above. This non-invasive method sends signals below the surface and receives echoes back, precisely mapping structures like ancient graves, roads, and settlements. In Peru's Amazon rainforest, ground-penetrating radar technology revealed remnants of pre-Columbian civilizations. Landscapes thought to be devoid of human influence were shown to have sophisticated urban planning, with causeways, canals, and viewing platforms. Such discoveries invite us to reimagine the cultural reach and complexity of early civilization. A closer look at the sites like these opens windows into unknown chapters of human history, ones that reveal the spread of religions, trade networks, and technological advancements in ways previously unimagined. Meanwhile, scientific advances have revolutionized our dating methods. Techniques such as radiocarbon dating allow researchers to determine the age of artifacts with impressive accuracy. This process has been instrumental in confirming the historical timelines of societies across the globe. In Europe, at Schönwerth's Palace in Germany, wood samples tested with carbon dating techniques have placed the timeline of specific architectural changes within precise historical contexts, offering insights into shifting power dynamics and architectural influences over time. The application of DNA analysis in archaeology further deepens our understanding. With bone fragments and remains, scientists now reconstruct ancient peoples' lineage and migrations. This practice sheds light on how societies encountered new lands and cultures, influencing their evolution. In the forests of Scandinavia, Viking burial sites produced remains that, when analyzed, have revealed surprising genetic links across Europe, upturning previous assumptions about migration patterns during the Viking Age. Each discovery adds vital threads to the grand tapestry of human history, setting the stage for advancements we are yet to fathom. As we reflect on these traces in time, it is evident that modern archaeological insights forever change our comprehension of the distant past. They piece together stories that have waited silently for ages, stories that weave through cultures and lay the groundwork for our continuous quest for knowledge. We move forward ready to uncover the numerous hidden stories still cradled by the earth. As we unlock hidden narratives imprinted in the remnants of abandoned cultures, let us gently tread through the whispers of once thriving societies, now left in silent ruins. Across numerous landscapes, forgotten tales rest within the very stones and leftover threads of cultures that have disappeared, yet continue to leave their mark on history. Imagine, if you will, the vast expanse of Central Asia, where nomadic tribes once migrated across the steppes. These itinerant peoples, such as the Scythians, left behind burial mounds called kurgans, filled with artifacts that speak to their rich tapestry of life. From elegant horse trappings to ornate textiles woven with gold threads, these vestiges reveal a complex society skilled in crafting and adorned with symbolism that spoke of both power and cultural cohesion. In the heart of the American Southwest, the ancestral pueblones, sometimes known as the Anasazi, crafted intricate dwellings into the cliffs. As we stand before these ancient apartments in places like Mesa Verde and Chaco Canyon, it is easy to envision a vibrant community filled with traders, artisans, and spiritual leaders. Yet these structures were abruptly abandoned, leaving behind remnants of woven baskets and textiles that indicate extensive trade networks and cultural exchanges with neighboring tribes. Crossing the globe to the dense forests of Central America, we find the mysterious abandonment of the Mayan cities. Once thrumming with activity, these cities like Tikal and Palenque faltered, leaving behind elaborate stone carvings and textiles that hint at the grandeur of their civilization. The rich iconography engraved on their monuments and the finely crafted fabrics unearthed from tombs tell us of rulers, deities, and cosmological beliefs that governed their world. The same enigma shrouds the fate of the mighty Khmer Empire in Southeast Asia. Angkor Wat, the majestic temple complex, stands as a symbol of spiritual devotion and architectural expertise. The bas-reliefs here depict life in the Khmer Empire, battles, daily routines, and religious ceremonies. Yet aside from these stunning art pieces, fragments of tapestry and rare woven artifacts recovered from the ruins elucidate the empire's interaction with trade routes stretching from China to India. Further south, Along the rugged coast of South America, the Nazca people etched grand geoglyphs into the desert floor. These monumental creations, visible only from the air, still intrigue scholars. Within the earth, archaeologists have retrieved finely woven textiles that display colorful designs and symbolism akin to those inscribed on their pottery. These fabrics unravel stories of their societal structure and cultural practices, although what ultimately led to their decline remains a mystery wrapped in dust. Quietly preserved within layers of soil are the remains of the Minoan civilization on Crete. This culture, flourishing during the Bronze Age, experienced a sudden, unexplained decline. However, the frescoes, pottery, and traces of woven textiles left behind offer glimpses into their sophisticated art and architecture. Each piece recovered tells a story of a once dominant sea power, illustrating connections across the Mediterranean. In seeking these hidden narratives, the poignant beauty lies in how these abandonments allow us to witness cultural evolution from unique vantage points. The tools and textiles discovered from these ruins encourage us to appreciate not only the diversity amongst ancient societies, but their resilience in the face of change. The enduring textiles, woven baskets, clothing, and tapestries add depth to our understanding of these cultures beyond the static stones. And so, as we leave these deserted echoes behind, we transition seamlessly to consider how in the next chapter, the transforming power of connectivity through trade and commerce began to weave disparate cultural threads into a more unified global fabric. In the gentle, early moments of our modern age, the enduring legacy of tapestry and weaving continues to lace through our daily lives, echoing past civilizations while embracing future possibilities. This chapter guides us into a world where ancient techniques meet contemporary sensibilities, creating intricate tapestries of identity and art. As you relax and let your mind wander through this narrative, imagine the contemporary weavers who draw inspiration from millennia of cultural heritage. One thread of this legacy is seen in the resurgence of traditional weaving techniques across the globe. Indigenous communities, from the Navajo Nation in the American Southwest to the Sami people of Scandinavia, are reclaiming and preserving ancestral weaving methods. These groups regard their crafts as a bridge to their heritage, a way to keep cultural identity alive amidst modern pressures. Colorful rugs, garments, and blankets produced using traditional looms convey stories and lineage, acting as living records of a people's journey through time. In urban landscapes, artists and designers are integrating these age-old weaving skills with contemporary art. Galleries across major cities host multimedia exhibits, combining textiles with elements of sculpture, painting, and digital media. These exhibitions invite viewers to reconsider the role of fabric beyond its traditional constraints, exploring it as an expressive, dynamic canvas. Meanwhile, technology continues to shape the future of weaving. Modern looms have evolved into sophisticated machines capable of producing textiles with precision and speed. Digital technology integrates easily with these tools, enabling designers to create complex patterns not feasible by hand. This marriage of technique and innovation results in apparel and home goods that celebrate both functionality and artistry. Such developments are not just about efficiency. They also spark conversations about sustainability and ethical practices within the textile industry. Sustainability itself has become a woven thread in these discussions. With increasing awareness of environmental issues, many designers are turning to eco-friendly materials, ensuring that the art of fabrics respects and protects the planet. Innovations in producing sustainable fibers, like bamboo or organic cotton, play a crucial role in this movement, echoing the early weavers' practices of working respectfully with nature. Additionally, the modern revival of arts and crafts movements emphasizes handmade, quality goods over mass production. This movement champions the return to craftsmanship and ethical labor. In workshops resembling those of medieval guilds, Artisans create tapestries infused with modern themes, from social justice to climate change, reflecting the ongoing dialogue between art and society. Furthermore, using textiles as a means of storytelling has not waned. Tapestries continue to serve as vehicles for narratives, capturing the experiences of contemporary life. Public installations in community centers or along city streets feature textiles woven with the stories of diverse communities, celebrating collective histories and aspirations. In connecting the past to present trajectories, textiles remain an enduring medium, embodying the exquisite dance between tradition and innovation. Each piece crafted by modern weavers is both an homage to the legacy of ancient artisans and a leap into new artistic frontiers. As the strands of this narrative gently unwind, they illuminate a pathway not just forged by time, but permeated with the spirit of creation that endures in dynamic expressions of beauty and narrative. The echoes of the loom remind us that while patterns change and evolve, the threads of human creativity remain ever interlaced through history and into the future, setting the stage for further exploration of our shared journey.